I'm Jenn, Pattee, and I'm a trainer and a designer. My hope for today is that when I'm done, you'll see your city and your health in a radically different way. So here's the state of health in the West. Most of the things we're worried about, like terrorism, or the blue dot, aren't what actually gets us. And the vast, vast majority of us are going to die from heart disease or cancer, the yellow and the orange. Physical inactivity is a major contributor to these diseases. It's a massive problem, and it's also invisible. So this is the data that drives my work. We know it in the back of our heads, but we don't really think about it very often. And when we do, we reach for the cap. But what we really need is more movement. So when I was born in 1971, women weren't allowed to run the Boston Marathon because doctors thought running was dangerous to our reproductive organs. Today, doctors are encouraging everyone to exercise, like a lot, because we've learned so much about the benefits of physical activity, like how it releases a hormone that's like miracle grow for our brains. And even geriatric patients increase muscle mass and grow new neural connections. But our cities don't make physical activity very easy, right? And they're also havens for desk jobs, which are some of the most dangerous jobs around. If you sit at a desk more than 3 hours a day, you increase your risk of an early death by 40 to 93%, depending on whether you're a man or woman. But what's the alternative, right? Well, moving more is the alternative. So my neighborhood had a lot of vacant lots, and I realized we could hack into these lots, and we could turn them into places where people could flex, stretch, and sweat. And so, the world's first pop-up fitness hub was born. Here's the underlying code. First, we removed all barriers to entry. It's a completely open interface, and it's radically accessible. Everyone can use it any way they want, anytime they want. Radical access democratizes well-being. Surprise and delight. Many of the things you discover in cities aren't fun, like parking tickets. I get a lot of those. So we decided to hide something that'd be fun to discover. You know, like adult-sized monkey bars. Beauty. People take selfies in front of beautiful buildings for a reason, because beauty beckons us. It inspires us to participate. Tactility. There's so many things in cities you can't touch or don't really want to, but here's the thing. If you're going to develop a meaningful relationship with anything, you can't just look at it. So we designed our space for grabbing, holding onto, and tinkering with. Simplicity. People expect exercise to be hard, so the movements we're encouraging here are easy, like hopping and jumping. Our space is on people's way to wherever they're already going, like work, public transit, or taking baby out for her very first pull-up. And everything about this place is about bringing people together, including our business model. We financed it through a mix of private, public, and corporate funding. Neighboring businesses sponsor free classes, and on average, 50 to 100 people work out here every day. Temporary fitness hubs have far-reaching potential. This was where I started, but there's vacant lots and unused public spaces everywhere, and guys, we don't have to settle for them, because cities are looking for better ideas, and hacking your city for movement and play is a better idea, and our pop-up fitness hub proves all cities can become havens for physical activity, and that's how we're going to change health in America today.
Thank you.
How you identify the lots and how you work, like who owns those lots and how you gain access to them?
Yes, that's a great question. So these lots were owned by the city, and I identified it by walking past it. The long story is that I was hired to do, all my training's done outdoors, and I was hired by Twitter, and that was one of the most, a company that was in the densest part of the city, so I had to bring like 40 to 50 of their employees outside to train, and we absolutely had no space to do it, and this lot was 2 blocks away from their offices. So I kind of broke into it.
You mentioned that within cities there's so many regulations on how something should look, feel, touch, like from safety to over conservatism. How have you been able to break through some of that with these elements of the physical features that you're putting in the space? So how do you overcome like cities' inability to innovate or be conservative with some of your material choices or risk that you're asking people to take? Perceived risk.
Well, we were lucky because really what we're prototyping here is the idea that you can design opportunities for movement and play into the actual fabric and infrastructure of the city. So we were starting with something that was already there, which was a parking lot, and then there were already plans to put in an outdoor movie theater. And so we just were able to design our monkey bars into something that was already going in there. And then we're plopping mobile urban furniture pieces onto the lot. So a lot of this is designed to go away. And then we were just really lucky that we happened to have a super innovative group of people in City Hall at the time who were stakeholders and they really wanted to see this happen.
I really like the use of graphic. It's like a wayfinder. Usually it's typically an awful thing. It's the exit sign.
Thank you.
So I appreciate that the graphic becomes something that becomes useful three-dimensionally. So I wonder, I can easily see that being a shared resource, like an open source resource that's distributed across the country. Do you have ideas for how this could be acquired by other people and then activated in their cities?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'm glad you noticed that the graphics. Well, first of all, there's no signs in our space saying you can't do stuff, which is something a lot of cities have. And then we see this as we're developing a kit of parts that will work for any city anywhere. Our graphic is just a stencil, so it's really easy for anybody to do. A lot of kids and everybody worked on the ground graphic. It also changes over time. And then ultimately, we're developing a kit of parts that could be as small as a parking spot. The monkey bars could be a bus shelter. So we're figuring out how to transform it into a distributed network.
I'm just wondering, you mentioned business model. Are you nonprofit? Are you for-profit? How are you thinking about making this into a kind of scalable and sustainable thing, or is it just supposed to be one place?
Yeah, that's a great question. So this place, our spot was financed, like I said, through public, private, and corporate, and it's actually a business model that any community could use because we used Indiegogo as a crowdfunding platform. And so we can teach and show everybody, any other community, how we did it, and I think it's very exportable. But ultimately, I'm partnered with an architecture firm called Envelope A&D, and we're in the process of raising money to develop research and development for future projects.
I'm interested now, was the space open at night and used? And also, could you talk a little bit about how you designed for different ages?
Yeah, great questions. So the place, it's open 24 hours a day and it's well lit, so people can use it all the time, and they do. A lot of drunk people come from the beer garden and on their dates and use the monkey bars. It's very popular. And when you design places to be age agnostic, kids use them. So when you design for fun, kids figure it out. So kids are some of our biggest customers, and they're actually the instigators for adults to use it often.
Thank you.